Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's Waffle Box time.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
My crotch is itchy.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
2 chicks at the same time, man.
We just thank the Lord she didn't live to see her son as a mermaid.
You killed a hooker!
Call girls!
No,
she was
Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers.
This time we are sure she's a woman, right?
Why do you want to listen to the TV with the stereo on?
Because I like to party.
Let's do this!
Welcome to Waffle Box podcast, where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 27, we have Space Diapers, the Zoom call from hell, Kevin Hart's Not True Story, and a lot more. I am Mike Fish, and as always, I am joined by NorCal Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer-ish, Mr. Kush. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
Very-ish. Well, what's good, Mike? What's good, Slurp Squad? Kush Hayes here. It's Waffle Box Wednesday. It's the best part of Wednesdays, and I'm happy here to share that with y'all. How's things, dude?
I'm doing well. It seems we've been took a week off last week because I was back in play, but it feels like we haven't done a show for ages. It's good to see you. How you been?
Been pretty exciting times. As you mentioned at the top of the show, they inducted my work into the NorCal Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and excuse me. It was there was a whole event. I made a little speech. There's audio of it available wherever you can find that. But it was good, man. I saw my old business partner for like the first time in a decade. You know, we put a lot of stuff behind us, and we just focused on the night, and it was a good experience, and I feel better for it.
And if anyone's seen the photos of the event, Mr. Hayes looking extremely dapper. Was that a new suit, or is that something you already had lying around?
I've had bits and pieces of that suit for years. So I got that blazer from then SF Mayor Willie Brown. I got the shirt from whatever for whatever shop, Men's Warehouse,
Barnes
or
and
whatever.
Noble. Barnes and Noble's bookshop, right?
Barnes and Noble. That would be amazing if you could buy suits at Barnes and Noble. that might be a whole new thing, a resurgence, if you will. But anyways, and then the tie I actually got for another pro wrestler's wedding over maybe 20 years ago now. So, but as you see, I don't wear many ties, and it was still looking clean. So, had that going for me. Otherwise,
it looked like a complete outfit. You put it together well.
Thanks, player. I was still up for debate about shaving the old chin handle off, but as you see, we kept it.
Well, I mean, in your old Fog City Wrestling promos, you had the beard, so you can't chop it off for the Hall of Fame. You gotta keep it real.
I definitely didn't have this beard.
Well, it might have been not that long, but you definitely had it.
Not even. So I've always had this. This has always been a thing. This has always been a thing. At the beginning stage of Fog City, I tried to grow a soul patch, is I think what you're thinking.
Was a bold move. Always a bold move.
And I got it pretty long to the point where it got down to the bottom of my chin here. And I was like, this looks ridiculous. So it's perfect for pro wrestling. Okay. But the thing that made me the final straw that made me immediately shave it off was I caught some food in it one night. I was like, yeah, we are not doing that.
You've been there. The amount of times I've found like chips that I've eaten like 30 minutes before. Oh, Jesus.
No, when that becomes a thing for this, goodbye. I promise you, goodbye.
But I mean, you're into that Hall of Fame. Things may be turning up very well for us soon. The old production value of this podcast might be increasing because yours truly received this fantastic email. And I might be coming into some money. So let me read you this email that I received. So
that sounds exciting.
It's very exciting. So this is from a Sylvester Garrett, a stockkeeper at Heathrow International Airport warehouse in London, said he apologized for contacting me with this medium in respect of the fact that I do not know who you are. Good way to open up an email. But based on trust and confidence in me, I believe you will listen to my email proposal and consider working with me on this project. Intriguing. Subsequent to the United Kingdom Summit meeting held on the 15th of October, 2021 at International Hall, London, it was unanimously agreed that a committee to be put in place to ensure the release of an abandoned and unclaimed consignment box at the airport warehouse. Seems like a lot of trouble to go through for just one unclaimed box, but whatever, we'll go with it. This is as a result of several petitions from yada yada yada. Among other items scheduled to be confiscated, we have a one metallic trunk box, and my quest to know its content led me to know that it contains a huge sum of money, including $100 bills. Well, sorry, I tried to play. I'm sorry, but this email is terrible. They contain a huge sum of money in $100 bill notes, which bills are notes, whatever. While Scan could not give the exact amount, but my assumption is it should be over 15 million American dollars. Wow. If you are willing to handle this with me on confidential arrangement that you will not disclose my identity, kindly reply to my personal email address, sillgarrettgarrett@gmail.com. So yeah, 15 million American dollar dues coming your way. And that's definitely not a scam email that I received.
Definitely not a scam. There's no way that's going to be a scam.
Well, I do love in these emails because I'm sure everyone receives these on a day, but the grammar is just horrific in these emails.
Yes.
You would have thought, well, I guess if anyone's stupid enough to fall for these, then they're not going to notice that. But proofread these. Jesus Christ.
I mean, the way internet society is right now, like all that bad grammar is just kind of par for the course, to be honest, but yeah, it is what it is, man. Someone typed it out in French or Albanian or whatever foreign language they hail from, and then they threw it through the Google Translate, and this is what we got. So, but yeah, someone has to be falling for them, because I get many emails like this every day.
I think my favorite part might be the ending of it, where it says, "We look forward to your positive response in regards to this lifetime opportunity." Ooh. Suffice to say, I did not respond to that email, but there you go.
Smart move.
Probably.
I was watching the Vice YouTube channel, and they were talking about money launderers in your hometown of the UK, to the point where it's just like, guys will get like, so I learned some slang. A bag is apparently $500. I'm guessing that's pounds, but still.
Well, maybe they changed that, because it used to be a monkey. A monkey was £500.
Interesting, bruv. Yeah. No,
geez.
bruh.
Geez that.
Bruv. Oh, yo, geese. Yeah. So they quite a wild time in the UK with the money laundering, to the point where, like, yeah, if you get your account frozen, that's bad times for you over there, dude. Like, real bad times. I can't imagine it being any better over here.
I was gonna say it's bad news anyway.
Yeah, but it's all done like through Snapchat and Instagram. I found fascinating.
So I'm not going to be expecting a giant metallic box full of $100 bills.
That's
notes,
probably a good bet,
as they like to put it. All right, let's move on to our first story. So this was from the BBC. So everyone, have you ever heard of the company Better.com?
I want to say I have, but it's also just such a generic name that probably not.
I mean, it could be anything, to be fair. Better.com.
It could be anything. I've definitely never been to it.
So it's a mortgage firm. So there you go.
Definitely not be there.
So apparently recently, I say apparently he did, the boss of this firm has been criticized after he fired around 900 of his staff on a single Zoom call. Now that's, we've got to give him credit. That's productivity. It's like that's a lot of birds with one stone.
Sir, so we have enough trouble just getting the two of us on a Zoom call. They got 900 people on there. That is kind of impressive.
They're definitely paying the
message
premium.
we should be definitely not the message we should be taking away from this, but that's an incredible feat.
Well, is that so he opened up the call basically saying, hey, if you're on this call, you're part of the unlucky group being laid off. And then he was like, last time I did this, so this is not the first time, I cried. However, I'm going to try to be stronger. As if the people being laid off will be like, you can do this. Stay strong. Mr. Garg, which is his name. Vishal Garg. Mr. Garg definitely sounds like an evil person. And he said, I wish the news were different. I wish we were thriving. Next part of the story is, he didn't, however, mention the $750 million cash infusion that Better.com received from investors last week. So they received $750 million in investment. And then a week later, he had to lay off 900 staff. So in this is a kind of
going to make the Christmas party awkward.
Yes. But this is a kind of that he's a crazy bastard, right? So after the firing, Fortune magazine confirmed that Mr. Garg was the author of a previously written anonymous blog post in which he accused SAC staff at his firm of stealing from their colleagues and customers by being unproductive and only working 2 hours a day while claiming for 8 or more. He's also got an interesting management style, as it says. After an email that he sent out to staff, in the email he wrote, and for those listening, I guess for those watching as well. So I'm gonna, when it's all capitals, I'm going to say it a little bit louder, just so you can. So, you are too damn slow. You are a bunch of dumb dolphins. So stop it right now. You are embarrassing me. The one thing I am going to take from this is I might start using that as an insult. I might start calling people dumb dolphins. Because I love the thought process in that, because dolphins are well known as being an incredibly smart animal.
Understood.
So I like how he's saying, you know, these really smart animals? Yeah, you're the dumb version of them. Like the HR person at this company must be losing their mind.
Yeah. Have you ever been on either side of one of these calls before?
What, the other side in the company I worked for, they didn't fire, but they furloughed people at the beginning of the pandemic. And I was luckily in one of those Zoom calls where it was like, hey, if you're in this Zoom call, you're still employed. Good stuff.
Oh, well, that's fortunate.
So, yeah,
that's
I was on the fortunate side of those, but I do know people who were under the on the axe. But Jesus,
from what I read in the article, they haven't been fired. They've been laid off. That there is a difference to that. So when you get laid off, you're entitled to unemployment insurance. That's, unemployment checks. So most of those folks are going to be fine. Plus, I'm pretty sure they're going to get some kind of severance.
I should hope so.
Don't quote me on that, and it probably won't be a lot. It'll be like $1,200 and a Starbucks card for a free latte. But I used to work at a hotel. We then had 9/11, and then things were kind of like chaos. 3 weeks after 9/11, we had our monthly staff meeting. Nothing unusual about this, except for the actual hotel general manager is sitting at the head of the table. He's never at these things. And, he was like, 9/11 this, and the travel industry that, and, well, things are a little crazy right now, so we're going to probably have to lay a couple people off here, and, hours are going to be weird, and blah, 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 blah. And then he immediately transitioned to, but we're going to have the milkshake machine is going to debut at the company party next week. And that's when I just dropped my sandwich on my plate, and I was just like, a fucking milkshake machine? And then
things are tight, but luckily I did manage to get the milkshake machine.
I brought that up, like how many hours were sacrificed for this, and like my one guy to the left, he went like, yeah, but then he didn't back me up anywhere past that.
Yeah, what this guy said.
So there was already a schedule for next week when we entered the meeting, and then 4 hours after the meeting was over and I was at home, I got a call from my assistant manager, and he's like, yeah, so you're going to be taking a break for a while. And
so you didn't even get to use the new milkshake machine?
I didn't get to. Well, I heard that they decided not to use the milkshake machine after all.
Fight the power.
We showed them. But yeah, they so I wasn't at the bottom of the food chain. I had been there a while enough, like there were people under me, but they stopped those layoffs right at me to the point where like even the support staff is just lopsided. It should be 2 people on. So like, Mike, you and I are working the same shift, 3 to 11. You have to go to the bathroom for 10 minutes. I'll be there to cover you. Lunches, whatever, like there's always going to be someone there. But they only kept 3 people. And it was just like, oh, maybe, I was upset, but I'm 100% sure that they cut me because of that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun working environment.
It was pretty shitty. I got my job back 2 months later, and things were fine from that. But it wasn't a very well run hotel.
Do you want to name and shame it?
Nah, I've already talked about it before, but nah.
Screw them and their milkshake machine, which didn't happen. Speaking of being fired, last month, I don't know how I only found out about this, but last month, a New Zealand city fired their wizard. Yeah. Apparently, Christchurch in New Zealand previously had a wizard on the payroll.
That's the name of a town? Christchurch?
Christchurch. That's
pretty incredible.
Christchurch, bang. Put it together. It's like very unimaginative.
Sounds like the town in Footloose.
Christchurch.
There's no dancing allowed in this town. Like, oh.
So
don't you?
Sorry, what was that?
I was gonna build on that joke, but I've lost it. It's fine. Go for it.
My bad.
Go. Wasn't you? No, it was me. Don't worry.
So apparently, he received an annual salary since 1998 of 16,000 New Zealand dollar dues, which is just roughly about 11,000 in US dollars right now, to provide acts of wizardry and other wizard-like services.
Good. Not a bad job, actually, and I'm sure like cost of living is way lower down there. So, $11,000, that's probably he's probably comfortable on that.
But I just wonder where it's starting, if that's in his job description, or is this wizardry and other wizard-like services? Surely any wizard-like services could come under the banner of wizardry.
Oh, there's so many different factions. There's witches and warlocks, and it's this different categories of magic. There's white magic and black magic and dark magic and elfin magic, and I for some reason know a lot about magic, but
it's good information to have.
Yes.
So apparently, the council had sent him a letter thanking him for his services to Christchurch over the past decades and informing him that they are bringing their formal contractual arrangement to a close, said Lynn McLennan, the council's assistant chief executive. She said the final payment will be made in December, so he's still on the payroll technically, but he's being let go. So you may be wondering, good listeners or watchers of Waffle Box, what, after 2 decades, has led to this man's dismissal as Wizard of Christchurch? So here's the thing.
Is funny.
This is why I got a little bit angry. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to maybe write a stern letter to Christchurch here, because from what I can understand, all this guy's crime was talking about why you shouldn't beat women, which I think is a fantastic thing to do. This man should be held to high regards because his defense for women because he said you shouldn't beat women. Now, let's get to the quote of why he said you shouldn't beat women. Even it shouldn't have to be said, but this is why he says you shouldn't beat women.
Let's unpack this.
He said it, and I quote, "I love women. Good start. Good start. I forgive them all the time. Okay. I've never struck one yet. Never strike a woman because they bruise too easily is the first thing, and they'll tell the neighbors and their friends, and then you're in big trouble. Oh Christ. Oh God. That's not where I thought it was gonna go. Jesus Christ.
Well, if anything, these are the experiences he's witnessed. You know, anytime he saw one of his neighbors smack his wife, she went and told everybody. You know, like,
and she bruised so easily.
She bruised hard.
Like a peach. Oh, dear.
Well, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently he's not letting this deter him because what was his name? It's Ian Brackenberry Chanel. I don't know. Chanel. Let's go with Chanel. Make it sound
wizard name.
Very wizardry. He said, "It makes no difference to me. I will still keep going." He said, "They will have to kill me to stop me." So
they're just going to not pay you. That's all. You keep being a wizard there, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about
best wizard that doesn't beat women who you can be.
I don't think they're worried about him being a wizard. I think they just don't want to pay him while he's walking around complaining about women bruising too easily.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's probably a little unstable at this point. But here's the real question now: What do you do after this, Mike? You've been a wizard for 20 years. That's all you know, really. Like, what career do you transition to after that? I don't think there's much of a retirement plan in this man's job lineup. So
I would say maybe something like a Lord of the Rings cosplay. I could go to Comic Cons and stuff.
Oh, see, smart. That's already smart because people will line up or down the hall for that. They'll be like, "Oh shit, it's the Wizard of New Zealand. We gotta hang out with this guy."
Yeah,
and then they'll be like, "Oh my god, he says so many dirty, racist things." For some reason, he kept calling me a cunt. I didn't understand it. Like,
why do you keep saying I got soft skin? That was kind of strange. Yeah. It's not surprising that he is an old man, and so old. It always tends to be the older you are, the stranger things that come out your mouth.
Indeed.
There you go. So, thanks for your services in 1998. So, what's that? 23 years of service to the town of Christchurch. But Ian Chanel, Grand Wizard, no more. Let's move on to the next story.
All right.
So now space, the final frontier. So obviously now with the new space, we've got Jeff Bezos and with his penis-shaped rocket with the balls at the end of it. And then we've got, what's his name? Elon Musk doing his space. It's very sexy right now. It's very sexy again because it went, after Shatner, after he made love to a green woman to break barriers in the 60s,
late 60s, yes,
60s, yeah. Space has been not. I mean, anyway, you had Jean-Luc Picard, that bald, sexy bastard. But yeah, space not so sexy anymore. However, everyone's thinking, wow, going to space station, living on there for a while. It's awesome stuff. What could go wrong? So this was, I think this was last month as well, maybe even October, but it needs to be told. So astronauts on the SpaceX capsule, which was returning from the space station, who spent nearly 200 days in space. So their toilet broke, which is
that's the worst instrument that could break up there.
Yeah.
I think it's literally like you want the oxygen, and then you want the toilet, and then guidance and return controls and directions. All that's just like.
But mainly, you want a toilet. That's the big thing.
You definitely want a toilet.
So
you can't stick your butt out the window on this one.
So Expedition Commander and French astronaut Thomas Pesquet, I'm going to use that, in a press conference said it's been a very, very intense mission. A lot of things have happened. On this mission, this is a mission that you don't want the toilet to break, because over the mission, they conducted a series of spacewalks, installed solar panels to upgrade the station's power grid. They grew the first green chili peppers in space, and they made tacos in space.
Interesting.
Now, if I'm going to be the first person to cook a taco in space, it's very unfortunate timing for the toilet to break after that.
Indeed. Yes.
So what they were, they had to spend, or they could have spent at least 20 hours in the capsule from the time it hatches, the hatches are closed until they open again on Earth without a working toilet. And what was the outcome, or what was they told? The advice: hold it in.
Was they have to wear
hold it in or wear a diaper. Now,
there you go.
What I'm going to bring you in on this, Mr. Hayes, because you're a smart man.
Listening.
I'm going to assume. Now, most things, they have backup plans and backup plans of the backup plans, because obviously space is very dangerous.
True.
Do you believe that they had adult-sized diapers?
Yes.
Just in case?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. I see that in most space movies. Someone always like, the rockets get ready to take off, and they're like, oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom. And they're like, you better just use your diaper, Jimmy. And then he just goes, oh, he crosses his eyes because he's now relieved. And then they take up into space. But diapers are pretty standard. It's just, rough day at the office still.
I was going to say, because I was like, if they don't have those, like what, imagine like, how would you kind of makeshift a diaper in space?
Oh, yeah. You gotta, I mean, they don't always wear those gigantic bulky suits. There's plenty of footage of them just like hanging out in sweats and a t-shirt just floating around the space station. So they'll have a spare t-shirt to makeshift a diaper out of. But that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah, there's that, because once they land and then they rescue them in the capsule.
Ooh, the smell.
I'm sorry.
That smell.
I couldn't hold it.
Can't you smell that smell?
So like Cool Runnings. You can go to the bathroom now. Too late.
Too late, man.
Too late, man. But yeah, so they said, who was this? NASA astronaut Megan MacArthur confirmed that the toilets on board Dragon Endeavour were broken. And she was quoted as saying, of course, that's suboptimal. Yeah, that's a one way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently I'm sure they came home safe, smelling wonderful. But I'm sure that's gonna.
I would hope the toilet is now fixed on the SpaceX satellite, but TBD.
It's just embarrassing. Like the amount of millions of dollars they spend on that to do that, and then the toilet just does blocks.
The media only prints the bad news, Mike. They only tell you about when the toilet breaks. They don't report to you when it's been fixed, bro.
But what I'm interested to know, because I know obviously when you're in an airplane, due to the pressure and things like that, your taste buds change and things like that. How's that work in space? Well, I wonder what the taco tasted like.
Probably didn't taste very good, and probably was super uncomfortable in your tummy, because they eat like gel and all that weird shit up there, man. Freeze dried stuff. I don't think they're allowed to have many solids.
Yeah, because I imagine digestion in zero gravity is not that easy.
Yes, it sounds uncomfortable to me. and we're currently standing on the ground right now.
And yeah, I can have trouble with that kind of food as it is, let alone in 0G.
Oh god. Mm-hmm.
I
got myself one of those bidets at the in the pandemic last November or November 2020. And the full year that I've had it now, I don't know how I've lived without it. And I have
you got the little
hate using the bathroom outside this house.
You got the little butt washer, butt spray?
Oh yeah. This shit is heavenly.
Never used one.
Before last year, I had not either. But now I don't know how I lived without it.
What does it feel like?
Feels like a jet of cold water shooting up your ass.
I don't know if you're selling it to me.
No, I mean, the point is that it's used for cleaning and it loosens stuff up in there. And then everything just pours right on out and mazel tov.
Did you use it on your birthday?
I use it every day.
Did you when you were using it on your birthday, did you like celebrate it? Like, hey, it's my B-day, B-day.
No, I didn't do that.
Next year.
I did, for whatever reason, make a wish with a slice of birthday cake. It is probably the most unhygienic thing I've ever done. But
you ate birthday cake on the toilet?
Of course. I mean, don't you?
That's that is fantastic. I used to I had been known to once because I wanted to multitask. I had a full microwave meal while I was pooping. I was eating dinner while I was pooping. And I'm not ashamed of it either. And I'll do it. Well, I won't do it again because I'm not allowed to now. I'll get yelled at. But
the wife is like, "Yeah, I'm going to divorce you if you do that again."
Back in my single days, those were the days.
Back in
eating in the toilet, when men could be men.
Oh man!
Hashtag B-Day, B-Day. Enjoy it. Right, what we got up next? We've got some stuff that we've been watching on TV. Let's go with... I'm going to sip my beer.
Have a sip of the beer.
Kevin Hart's Not So True Story.
Kevin Hart, man. He debuted a Netflix miniseries over the Thanksgiving holiday. It's a total of 7 episodes. It's about 4 hours long. For whatever reason, the first episode's an hour long, and then everything else is just under or just over a half hour. As you said, it's called True Story. It's a terrible title, but you start Kevin Hart. He's basically just playing himself. I guess
that's where the true story bits comes in. It's almost autobiographical up until a point.
Yeah. You know, he's on the most successful tour. He's the most successful comedian. He's a successful movie star, and he just did one of those comic book movies with Chris Hemsworth that is now going to like push him over the $1 billion mark as far as success goes. Of course, every successful person has a less successful brother, and that's where Wesley Snipes comes into play. He's fantastic.
Oh,
you know,
I agree. Just for one, I don't know why, because it's not like he's been. Well, I guess he did kind of go off the radar a little bit after he kind of. But
Wesley Snipes had a tax issue where he ended up doing real time for like, I want to say it was at least 2 years. It might have been even 3, but like it halted his movie career. You know, like he was not in movies because he was in jail.
But just when he entered the scene, it was, I don't know, I just felt like, good
command your attention.
It's so good to see. And yeah, I thought he was, because I admit it, because when we spoke off air, for some reason I thought this was a movie, so I didn't really prepare enough time to watch. So I only watched the first episode of this, but I thought, he was very good in this.
When is Wesley Snipes bad in anything though? Like Wesley Snipes has definitely been in bad movies, but he's never been the worst thing about him. You know,
well, I guess because
by a mile,
he's most known, I guess, still for his work in Blade, which is,
of course,
debatably
his biggest movie.
Yeah. So and that is very, I don't want to say cheesy, but it's not the most Oscar-worthy serious acting, right? It's a very
No.
So I guess
he's done
in a weird way
much better dramatic work outside of
right
for sure.
But so he's kind of known almost for being wacky. That's a Keanu Reeves. Wacky. That guy, Wesley Snipes. So when he's
done plenty of comedies, he's done plenty of action films, he's done plenty of dramas. I mean, it's what you've been exposed to. So
I agree. But yeah, carry on. But yeah, he was very good in this. Very good.
He's great in this. He brings the drama. He accentuates Kevin Hart's performances, and Kevin Hart, has that. Regardless of how successful he is, he's still looking up to his brother, literally and figuratively. But Wesley Snipes is still a bad influence on little brother, to the point where Kevin Hart, who's supposed to be 6 months sober, ends up having shots one night, and then sure enough, is woken up in bed and told that the woman next to him is dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
As one might, Kevin Hart panics, but it's he never uses any common sense. At no point does he just takes his brother's word for it, and at no point does he ever go like, hey, are you awake? Oh, well, maybe she's dead. Damn, that sucks. Everything in this movie is them making the wrong choices. Like, by the way, if you ever wake up in bed next to a dead woman, just call the cops. Just call the cops. Don't do what these dummies do.
Waffle Box PSA for you.
There you go. Please just call the cops. It's gonna be okay. If you got nothing to worry about, should be fine. Anyways, Billy Zane comes into the picture. You thank your boy Billy Zane, and he's the fixer. He's gonna take care of this dead body for them. And sure enough, that he also comes at a price. And apparently his scale is very sliding. So he hits up Kevin Hart for like $6 million. And Kevin Hart's like, what the fuck? And Wesley Snipes is like, what the fuck? And, more bad decisions stem from there. You get Theo Rossi, who you might know best from playing Shades in the Luke Cage Netflix series. Otherwise, he's very much a character actor. He's a that guy. But he's in this. He plays a super fan, and I think this actually might be the best role I've seen him in, or at least the best role I recognize him in. His whole thing is like he's that again. Like I said, he's a super fan, and he knows Kevin Hart. And he's like, "Hey, Kev, can we get a photo? Can we get a photo? Can we get a photo?" And obviously, Kevin Hart has got the weight of like, "Oh no, there's a dead woman in my bed, and this weird guy's blackmailing me, and my brother's fucking everything up for me as usual." And he just snaps on Theo Rossi, which draws a couple tears down. It's primo stuff. Again, 4 hours long, seven episodes worth. It's a very quick burn. It's very slow. You could cut a lot of this out and just make it an interesting drama. But Kevin Hart, despite the fact that he's playing himself in a very complicated situation, he's bringing it in this.
I mean, I've not even just in this, but pretty much everything he's been in. Even was it Fatherhood? I thought he was very good in. Like you enjoyed the Fatherhood.
Actor. I remember that.
He's not a bad actor. I'll give him credit.
But he's been working on this shit, man.
I think he's one of those people that if he's not good at something he wants to be good at, he'll work on it until he is. He's a very hard working man. Credits to
Mad hustle.
Mad
effing hustle.
If the modern day, if there was a picture next to the word hustle in the dictionary, I'm sure his name would be there. Either him or The Rock's. Probably his.
No, I mean they're in together in so many things now. So that's just how that works. So I like the series. Again, could be way shorter. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. But I would definitely, if you like Kevin Hart, if you like Wesley Snipes, I would invest 4 hours in this. Again, it's not a commitment. It's a football game with overtime.
And when you put it like that, why wouldn't you watch it? Because everyone loves a football game with overtime.
There you go, babe.
What else? What else is we got to offer? I believe Resident Evil has a new thing coming out, or just came out.
Same holiday weekend. We got the brand new Resident Evil movie. This is a complete departure from the Mila Jovovich series we've had. Oh, hello, pausing.
Let's do a little background because I haven't seen this yet. And I'll explain why to our good people, because again, I explained to you off air. So yes, I am a huge Resident Evil fan in terms of the video game production. And so back in the day when I heard that Resident Evil was going to be made into movies, I was very excited with the original stuff. And then, as you can imagine, to my dismay, I was not exactly impressed by what does it end up being, like 17 Resident Evil movies starring her? I don't know.
It's 7, but still, it's a lot. It's still a lot. It's a lot for a franchise that split as far away from the video games as it could.
Well,
like, that first movie has got a lot of references to it, but the Resident Evil movie series was arguably more successful as its own thing outside of the video games.
Well, I'm sure it maybe mentioned it.
They never bombed. They were always an event spectacle.
No, yeah, absolutely. But I just remember thinking when these movies came out, so they're supposed to be based on Resident Evil. The lead character is a woman. There is a lead woman character in the video games.
Couple of them, sure.
But there's Jill Valentine, Claire Redfield. But they just created this whole new character for Mila to play. Like, what? Why?
And that's not uncommon for film adaptations.
One of the women in it.
Yeah, great question.
Oh, I was so annoyed. So through that, and I don't think I watched all 7. I think I maybe watched the first 4 until I eventually tapped out. I'm like, I can't do this myself. This is just not good for my mental health. This is just driving me nuts. So when I saw the trailer for the Resident Evil, was it Welcome to Raccoon City?
Yes.
Coming out on Netflix. Netflix is Netflix, right? Yeah.
No, it's in theaters right now. Welcome to Raccoon City is in theaters right now.
Is it not on a streaming platform? For some reason I thought it was
Negative.
On a streaming platform.
No, Netflix is developing its own Resident Evil TV series, but that has yet to debut to my knowledge.
Wow. Okay. So Raccoon City. I'm Googling. Oh, it is in theaters. Why did I, for some reason?
I mean, movies got a 45-day window, so this thing will be on Netflix by New Year's. So.
Yeah, some point, yeah, it's going to Netflix anyway. I think there's an agreement it's going to Netflix after it's anyway. But yeah, but then there is also the TV series Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is on Netflix right now, and that released.
That's on Netflix now.
That released July 2021, so a while ago. But anyway, yeah. So I saw the trailer for Welcome to Raccoon City, and let's just say I was a little bit underwhelmed by the production values, shall we say? But sort of excited by the fact that it kind of kept true-ish to the story. It had all the characters in it, but I have kept myself from seeing it because of the fear that it was going to be bad. So you saw it.
I saw it.
What's the verdict here?
Overall, I liked it. It's entertaining. It does not need to be seen in a theater, but that's my thing. So that's what I do. But it tried to remain as close to those first 2 video games. And I mean, it's definitely low budget. It's a very hard R. So lots of blood spatter, lots of F-bombs. They don't pull any punches. It takes place in 1998. So again, going back to the video game. So one guy has a cell phone, and it's an old Nokia, little bar thing. And sure enough, all he can do is just play the video game Snake on it while he's waiting in the helicopter. So when it comes to communications, most folks don't have a phone. There are puzzles they have to solve when they're going through the big spooky mansion, the police police station, big and spooky as well. Like they tried to make this the best they could with the money they had, with the talent they had. Robbie Amell is in it. I think he's the biggest name in this, to be honest, outside of the guy who plays M. Bison in the Chun-Li Street Fighter movie. Give me a
there was
here.
Tom Hopper, who was in the Umbrella Academy. He's pretty big.
See, I haven't seen the Umbrella Academy, but okay, good. So that's a face you recognize. I've heard that.
Oh no, actually, I'm just pulled it up. There's actually quite a few. There's Neil McDonough. I recognize
Donald Logue.
Donald Logue.
He plays a shitty police chief, but he might be the best thing about the show. Neil McDonough is who I'm talking about. He's great in everything he's in, even if it is bad. So, they tried to make this the best they could. They tried to make this a John Carpenter movie, even to the point where they're actually using John Carpenter's fonts for the credits. But it's like 97 minutes long. It's not exhausting. It's not a slog. It doesn't move too quick. I mean, it definitely doesn't move too quick. But it's not terrible. Again, I wouldn't go out of my way to see this in a theater if I didn't live a 20-minute walk away from one. Otherwise, yeah, I think you might enjoy this on Netflix. It's completely different from those Mila Jovovich films, but it is probably less successful than any of them.
Well, at least I'm assuming, because it's more based on the video games, you're not going to have any swimming zombies like you did in the Resident Evil movies with Mila.
Not in this one, no. If anything, the zombies, when we meet zombies, they're more like the 28 Days Later zombie. Otherwise, you get all the monsters, you get the liquor, you get the thing that's got eyeballs popping out of its shoulder. What
was that one? What was that thing when in the police station that drops from the ceiling? It's like a zombie spider giant thing.
I want to say it's the liquor, but that could be something entirely different. Like they pulled no punches. They tried to make things super grotesque. So,
what's your score? What do you give it?
3 out of 5. Also, it's a different 3 out of 5 though. It's it's fine. I didn't hate it. I was happy to get out of the house. I liked what I saw. Do I want to see it again? Probably not. Would I change the channel if it was on? I might find something else. But if there's nothing else, I'm like, oh, yeah. If there's nothing else, I'm like, all right, well, Raccoon City's on. All right, I'll check that out again.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it then once it comes out on a streaming platform. But yeah, I don't think I'm big willing to spend $20 on it or something. Movie theater.
I mean, say what we want to say about those Mila Jovovich films. None of them were a bomb. They all
they were a bomb in my heart, Kush. They were a bomb in my heart.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna just have to get over that one. They can't hurt you anymore. I ever will. Oh, they're not there anymore. They've disappeared.
They're in here.
They're all gone now.
They're in here.
Oh dear. All of them?
Oh, the 4 that I watched.
I was impressed with the very first one. I was like, okay, that was entertaining. I liked that a lot. And then I sat through the second one on video and I was like, all right, we did that. Okay, that's fine. And then the third one came up and that chick started levitating cars in her sleep in the first 5 minutes. And I was like, canceled. And then I think I've only seen one other one. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I don't think I missed anything in between. I felt all caught up.
Yeah, one thing the soundtrack of the first one was fantastic.
Okay,
it was like
that 2000s rock, techno,
metal kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah.
And I always said at the time, like you were saying, is if it wasn't called Resident Evil, if it was called random zombie movie or whatever it might have been, I think I might have enjoyed it more. But because it had Resident Evil attached to it, I was like, this is not Resident Evil. This is terrible. But
I get it. It definitely doesn't help the average of the video game movie. Like when you think of what's a good video game movie, Resident Evil is never, at least those first 7, that's nowhere in the conversation.
I'll tell you what wasn't a bad video game movie was that most recent Sonic movie. I thought that wasn't that bad. What did you see that?
I did not. No, I sat that one out. I saw Detective Pikachu. I like that a lot.
That was very good, but that was not. I guess it is technically a video game movie.
There's a specific Detective Pikachu video game.
Oh, I did not know that.
I've never played it, but it's a thing. And Pikachu doesn't sound like Ryan Reynolds. He talks like this, like, "Hey, Toots, what are you doing?" He's actually got they're trying to do like a very gruff Sam Spade, noir thriller detective voice.
I was 2 weeks from retirement and they pulled me back in.
That's really good, Mike.
Thanks. I should be an actor. One day I'm going to be huge.
I agree.
I'm going to be such a star one day.
Keep reaching for that rainbow.
That's my... No. They keep pulling me back in. That's my range. I was just being a gangster movie because I'm English and I'm going to be that Cockney guy with a little waistcoat and
There you go. You can be in the next Guy Ritchie film. That would be great.
Could be. Oh, could be.
He's actually got a new film coming out very soon. Jason Statham again for his third roundabout, and then Hugh Grant and a couple other fellas that I literally just saw the poster maybe about a half hour before we went on.
Maybe I could be in the sequel.
There
I've got the accent. I've got the hat. Guy Ritchie.
You got the hat. He's got the hat. He's got the beard. Guy Ritchie. Put Mike Fish in your next film.
You know where to find me at Waffle Box Pod. Hit me up, Guy. Hey, Guy. Hit me up. Okay. So that's Resident Evil. Check it out if you want. Don't if you don't. As always. Right, so let's look ahead into the future because now we've got another 7 days. Don't be sad that you have to wait another 7 days to hear another Waffle Box because there's many other podcasts that you can listen to on the Bosnet family. What good man, Kush Hayes, has the members of the Syrup Squad got to look forward to being released in the next 7 days?
All right. In the next 7 days, you can check out Always the Microdose. I'll be bringing on the DP of Len Kabazinski's Pact of Vengeance, Steven Steinbacher. We had a great time in Los Angeles. We did a podcast just the other day over Zoom, and he's a good guy. You're going to get to like him, and it's a good plug for the movie. Otherwise, check out Kush and Kai coming out on the 15th. We'll be talking about The Long Kiss Goodnight. Gina Davis doing that action thing one more time. Sam Jackson, fresh out of Pulp Fiction, but still like 50 movies deep into it after that.
He has yet to be sick of those motherfucking planes, snakes on a plane.
Yeah,
at that point.
Indeed. It had not happened yet, but it's a good movie. I think it's a good discussion. You guys check that out. That's what's going on in the next 7 to 8 days.
Wonderful. And now, before we end the episode, I have a plug, and I'm going to ask for your good money, because, of course, you can go to wafflemerch.com to buy some good stuff like this wonderful Waffle Box hoodie that I've got going on there. Where's the mug?
Good looking hoodie.
Where's
I will
the mug?
say that.
Where's the mug?
The mug is in the dish rack. Sorry, buddy.
But anyway, but more importantly, as of right now, because it's that time of year where we're heading up to Christmas. Look around. We've put decorations up. Doesn't it look nice? Ooh.
I don't see anything in the frame, but I am also wearing tinted glasses. So
no, after production, we're going to put some decorations around us. But, yeah.
Gotcha. Oh,
God,
groovy.
see, it looks good. Look, Kush, look up.
It's beautiful. Oh my God. I hope that doesn't give me a seizure.
Well, but yes, so this time of year, so we're doing a bit for charity. So right now you can go to wafflemerch.com and we're raising money for the New Jersey Humane Society, which is a no-kill, very important, no-kill dog shelter here in the state of New Jersey. And so since we're raising money for dogs, I thought I'd be hilariously punny and release a line of merchandise called Waffle Box. Get it? Not Waffle Box, Waffle Box. Like the noise those dogs make, aren't they adorable? So there's t-shirts for men, women, hoodies, all the good stuff with the Waffle Box branding on there, and all the profits from those are going to be donated to the New Jersey Humane Society. It's going to be an ongoing thing. However, I will plead you, if you do have, obviously, don't spend money you haven't got, but if you have got a little bit of spare money and you want some cool stuff and you want to donate, do it now, because obviously this time of year is when idiots buy dogs for Christmas and then after a couple of weeks realize, oh my God, this is expensive. Oh my God, this dog's growing. And then give it away to a shelter. So this time of year is when dog shelters are at their busiest. So the more we can help now would be awesome. Help those little furry four-legged friends. So go to wafflemerch.com. Check out, it's the top line of items, Waffle Box, charity shirts. Buy them, all profits go to New Jersey Humane Society. Thank you very much. We love you. That's a good plug.
I like that. That's a good plug.
It's almost like I've done
when you promote this on Facebook, you should allow it to be shared.
Good plug. Good idea. So yes, tell your friends, tell your family, Waffle Box, wafflemerch.com. We've got so many goddamn websites, I keep forgetting. So if you want to follow us and find out all the links how you can watch us and listen to us, go to enjoywafflebox.com. If you are listening to us and you want to watch us, you can find us on YouTube. If you are watching us and you're like, Jesus Christ, those men are ugly, I want to listen to them instead, you can go to enjoywafflebox.com and you got all the links.
I beg your pardon, sir.
I know. It's mainly me, I guess. But yes, please share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, get as many people into the Syrup Squad as possible, because we're such a lovely bunch and it'd be fun to have more of you along. If you do have any news stories that you want us to discuss, feel free to drop them in an email, enjoywafflebox@gmail.com. Follow me at Mr. Mike Fish. He is Kush _ Hayes. And of course, how do the good people find all of the podcasts of the Bosnets? They go to?
Just go to the bosnet.family.
Bosnet.family. But yeah, thanks for joining us again. It's been a lovely 27th episode. Thank you for welcoming us into your home, into your ears, into your eyes. But until next week, of course, take care of yourselves and each other.